Hi, I'm Pete Riley, and here we're looking at an application for the 3/2 polyrhythm. So we'll kick things off by playing the pattern with the hands. So we're going to play the 2 on the ride, the 3 on the snare. Next, in example 2, we're going to play the same thing but with the feet. We're going to step things up a little in example 3. We're going back to the same pattern we play with the hands, only now instead of it just being quarter notes on the ride, it's going to be a shuffle rhythm. And you could perhaps see this one coming. So in example 4, we're going to play that same pattern that we had previously, but with the feet. So we're playing a shuffle rhythm on the bass drum and quarter note triplets with your left foot. In example 5, we're going to introduce a bit of independence with that, because the basic challenge from here on in is essentially going to be soloing with the hands over the top of that foot pattern. So we're just going to start off with single strokes. So single stroke 8th note triplets. I'll start with the feet, then introduce the hands. As the single strokes start to feel a little more comfortable, you could introduce some accents and also start orchestrating them around the kit. I'll do that now, always maintaining alternating single strokes with the hands. In example 6, we're introducing the Afro-Cuban 6/8 bell pattern. It's essentially a sticking, and I'll just play the hands first of all so you can hear how that movement works. Another way you can play the basic foot pattern is to move your left foot off the hi-hat onto an auxiliary bass drum pedal, or the other bass drum if you're playing 2 bass drums. In fact, this actually sounds better on 2 bass drums because you don't get that phasing sound when the 2 beaters hit simultaneously. So I'll start with my foot on the hi-hat, then move it across and you hear the different sound. And so just before we move on, I'll just try playing some more things around the kit, but this time with the feet playing the ostinato on the double pedal. Next, in example 7, we've got a 2-bar pattern which introduces another polyrhythmic quality to it. Basically, we're going to imply another time feel, which is based around your right hand is going to play quarter note triplets, accenting every other note. And then on the second accent, we'll put a snare drum with that, and it'll start to imply a slower feel. So what I'll do first of all, I'll start playing the feet, and I'll start putting the accents on the bell, and then I'll add that snare drum accent. And this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with this foot, straddle the 2 pedals, so you're going to get the bass drum and the hi-hat simultaneously. And we'll just try that a little slower. So as we saw in example 7, we've got an implied time feel. It feels slower. So in this final example, we're going to switch things around, and we're going to play that exact same pattern, but in the time feel that we were hearing it in, which is running through 6 beats of 16th notes. And this is just the sort of seeing the other perspective of what we were playing previously. So now, instead of hearing it in over 2 bars of 8th note triplets, we're going to hear it across 6 beats of 16th notes. So now your left foot, which was playing the quarter note triplet, is actually playing 8th notes, and your right foot, which was playing a shuffle rhythm, is now playing that with a sort of 4/3 reference. So for example, if I play quarter notes here, your bass drum is going to be playing this after 3. 1, 2, 3. So now we'll just play the 8th notes there. And you can hear that we've got our original ostinato back, but the reference is different. We're now hearing that's resolving in 3, but once we add the backbeat, it takes twice as long, and we end up in 6/4. So here's example 8. I'll count it in after 4. So one of the things you need to be able to play that example And example 7 really is the ability to maintain that foot pattern underneath that hand pattern. So let's just move it over to a kick snare hat thing instead of stepping the 8th note. And so this is essentially example 8 minus the stepped left foot. And finally, I'll just apply some of that polyrhythmic stuff in it's in our original 8th note triplet rate. So I'm playing in 4/4, thinking in 8th note triplets, and then every so often I'll play that implied time feel, but never modulating into it. Always sort of thinking of the 4/4 triplet feel.